Okay. Okay. Freilich Tu bshvat. Got a lot of eating to do. Now to explain why Tu bshvat has what to do with us. Because the tree is a creature that's actually a metaphor for both man and reality itself. Man is called in a few places in Tanakh, right? Man, the healthy man is like a tree planted on lots of bodies of water, lots of water sources. In the Mishnah and Avos, right? The a person whose deeds are more than their wisdom is called a tree with a lot of roots, right? And less branches, that it's windproof, and we could go on and on. Kyoram ate sasada for man is like the tree of the field, as it's brought down in Parshas Shoftim. Please forgive the vacuum cleaner in the background. Right, so there's many allusions that man is called a tree, and the universe itself is called a tree. Right, in Kabbalah we call the whole span of reality the Ilan HaKodesh, right, the holy tree. Right, and the idea is as follows. Of course, the trees that we know are roots down in the earth, and it grows heavenward. But by man and the cosmos, it's the other way word, upside down tree. This is our roots. Our roots are in heaven, and we try to draw down through our good deeds, which are called fruit. We try to draw down through our good deeds, energies that will make a real change in the world, right? And just like the tree processes the nutrients and produces fruit, we have to process the abundance that God gives us and make it in a productive system. That systematically only productive things will emerge. And so this also is, that also refers to the Torah. The Torah is called Eitz Chaim Il Machzik, tree of life. The same idea, Torah is from God, but Hashem gave the Torah to man, that man should be convert the Torah into a tree, because by the Torah coming down, it's like the sap going up the tree. Like we said, the cosmos and the man are an upside down tree. Heaven is where our roots are. The Torah coming down causes the Torah to be processed within reality and to bear fruit, vitalize reality and bear fruit. So like the renewal of the tree is a renewal of the cosmic system. Or if we want to talk about it in simpler terms, what were we eating until now? Last year's fruit, because nothing new grew yet. So we're still living on the leftovers of last year, right? Now, the blessing of this new year, 5783, God decreed it on Rosh Hashanah, and it penetrated reality together with the rainfall. That Chazal referred to the rain as Gishmei Bracha, because the rain is not just water; it also are, the divine blessing is encoded within it, encapsulated in it. It's a vehicle to bring the divine blessing into the world, but it wasn't harnessed; it was falling on the ground. But on Tu B'Shvat it becomes harnessed. Hasaraf Ole Beilanos, the sap begins rising in the tree, and all the rainwater and all the blessing for 57 days is finally getting processed in a way that will bear fruit in the spring months, right? So there's a great transition point of harnessing, of internalizing, of beginning the process of taking in, right, the divine sustenance, and it processes through us, revitalizes us, and we ultimately bear fruit. Chidushei Torah, new Torah ideas, new good deeds, right? A lot of good things that come forward as a result, right? And this great transition of harnessing God's blessing, but not just harnessing it, but beginning the process, because God's blessings are just pure potential, and He left it up to man to actualize. He gives us all his blessings to see what we'll do with them, what we'll accomplish with them. And we believe that we could be 100% efficient and translate everything that he gives us into something positive with no waste, just like the tree. It takes, water and dirt and carbon dioxide, and it makes fruit. And what's its waste product? Pure oxygen. So with that amazing efficiency of just making good things better, with no real waste whatsoever, we believe that man, right, is going to also can harness God's blessing and internalize it to build up his inner world, but then not just to build up his inner world as like the sap rises in a tree, but to bear fruit, right? Do great things. And the cosmos also. The cosmos is a machine, and it's a machine like a tree. It's also absorbing God's energy, and that's what makes the cosmos optimal. But then the cosmos bears fruit. The fruit it tells the story of the glory of God. Hashemayim misaprin kvod kel. The heavens attest to the glory of Hashem. In the future, history is going to just reveal how God is the one only. That's the fruit that the world bears. And all of God's blessings they're like every day's blessings. It's not lost when that day passes. It's internalized. It becomes part of the world. It becomes processed within the world. And ultimately, at the end of time, it bears fruit. So Tu B'Shvat is a great transition on the yearly cycle of beginning to harness and process the shefa that God's giving us, and we want to definitely mark the event by enhancing it. Like I said last night at our very, very successful wine tasting event, that at every gateway in life we have to mark that gateway because it's a critical juncture. We have to make sure that we cross that juncture in the best possible way and nothing gets lost. Right? Tu B'Shvat's a major juncture for on the yearly cycle. It is the beginning of the internalization and the processing of God's blessing for this year. This is where it happens. Until now, we're just living off the leftovers of last year, not just in what we eat, but even in what we think. All our chidushei Torah, novelates, all the leftovers from last year. This is the grand day where, just like in the trees, the sap begins to climb. We begin to internalize and process what God gives us. And from this day onwards, we will start feeling a certain newness, right? A newness that comes to full actuality in the spring months, right? Not just agriculture, but also within ourselves. New ideas, new levels, reaching a whole new plateau in who we are, in actualization of our potential, and also with the universe, with moving the universe forward, that more sap divine sap has been absorbed in the tree that is the machine called the cosmos, and we're moving towards bearing the final fruit of the coming of Mashiach, where the fruit that we bear is the revelation of the secrets of Torah, the revelation of God's glory. These are the fruits of destiny, and the cosmos is a tree that's just absorbing God's blessing to bear those fruit in course of destiny. I think we've said enough, and now we have to begin the process. Chazal say that in the future, trees will be so efficient, they won't just give us fruit, they'll give us finished baked goods, gluskaot. Right? It's like every year the tree is actually getting better, the cosmos is getting better. So, and also we have to go with the Seder brachot, so we have to make a mizonos first before we do anything else. And we have in mind that we want to make the tikkun that sof maaseh machshava. That's the first part we're making. The end of time, the trees will be so efficient that they'll just produce finished products. Man won't. Everything will be so finished and so refined. No improvement, no cooking or baking will be necessary.
Amen.
All right. Excuse me, guys. We didn't hear that. Unbelievable. All right, so now we're going to drink some wine and eat fruits parallel to the different levels of reality. The operating system of this world, we're not including the universes of Olam Haba, the operating system of this world is 4 universes: Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, and Asiya. And we have to, and so that's Atzilus top, Bria beneath it, Yetzira beneath it, and Asiya beneath it. And we have to pull down. We say our roots are in heaven. We have to pull down, to first Atzilus, and from Atzilus to Bria, from Bria to Yetzira, and to Yetzira, from Yetzira to Asiya. So in the world of Atzilus, that's the world of pure divine majesty. There's nothing except Shemotav Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There are no separate creation. It's just the pure world of divine providence, of divine names. So we're not going to eat fruit yet, because fruit is like a separate entity, and there are no separate entities yet in Atzilus. It's just the Ribono Shel Olam's pure energy to govern the world. It's called the world of divine names, and it's a world of pure mercy. There's no presence of din whatsoever. So parallel to that, we're going to drink wine that's totally white, wine as opposed to fruit. So that we're talking about, not separate entities, and totally white. That's all rachamim gemurim. There are no dinim in Atzilus. This we all do. And now we have to have in mind, the divine name that's parallel to all the 4 ways to spell the name Yud Kei Vav Kei. The way to spell out the Yud Kei Vav Kei, Lefidi Olam Atzilus, is Yud Vav Dalid, Hey Yud, Vav Yud Vav, Hey Yud, which is Gematria 72, also, which says Gematria Chesed. It's a world of pure divine kindness. There's, when it start to be separate entities, that's where din starts emerging, because you have to measure them out, but also you have to pass judgment on them. In Olam Atzilus, it's just Chesed. That's why the divine, it's Shem Ayin Beis. It has this, that way of Yud Kei Vav Kei, numerical value of 72, Gematria Chesed, and we have in mind that Shem as we're going to drink the wine. Okay? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Pretty good. Okay. Now in Olam HaBriya, right, where creation begins, but creation is very, very refined at that point. It's just like pure. There's a sense of separateness, but it's like the root powers of all the creations, Kochos HaNivraim, and of that they're all pure. They all start off pure. Any corruption happens lower down the scale. So there are separate entities, but they're so pure. They're like very spiritual in nature, because it's their point of origin. And part of that are the fruits of Bria, are the fruits that are totally edible. You can eat all of it. There's no waste. Like a grape. And we're going to make the bracha on the grape because of, it's one of the Shivat HaMinim. But things like, blueberries, if you hold there are 8s, anything that you could just pop the whole thing, those are fruits of Olam HaBriya. So now we're going to make a bracha 8, have in mind to be mafshich to Shef Olam HaBriya, and then we're going to have a mixture of wines to correspond to that. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri ha'etz. That's pretty good. I have more. So now, as the separateness has begun, and with every aspect of separateness from God, a little bit aspect of din, so we have to mix our white wine with the mostly white and a little bit of red. I don't want to mix really real red and real white. It'll taste terrible. So when we work with the wine as a base, the white wine as a base, and we will add a drop of red, just a drop. It's far more white than red. The Olam HaBriya is Rubo Tov, mostly good, just a very small, presence of din. And now, as we do this couple on, we have in mind the permutation of the name Yud Kei Vav Kei that's parallel to the Olam HaBriya, which is Yud Vav Dalet, Hey Yud Vav Aleph Vav, Hey Yud Gematria Samach Gimel, because that's where the Sigim start from. Okay, so we have in mind that divine name as we drink this combination of wine to draw out a shefa there. Cham, cham, cham. Okay, so now we're the Olam HaYetzira, the world of formation. Now it's, the creations are not so elemental point; they take on more of a form, Yetzira form. Bria said they just emerge, they just have existence. Now we're down, they got more of a form. As they take on more form, there's more din to shape it, to cut it down to size. And parallel also, since there's more din, they could also have the opportunity to deviate and may require more judgment. So there's more din in its programming. And more din in its programming also gives it more possibility to stray. The fruits that are parallel to Olam HaYetzira are like this nectarine over here. The fruit is basically edible, but there's a big unedible pit. But on the inside is a big unedible pit. On the outside, it's totally edible, which shows that the goodness overcomes the evil. It's around it, and what's unrefined is, contained. It's the pit in the center. It's contained, means the good is dominant and subdues, but it's still called, unfortunately, in the grand scheme of things, that is half chesed, half din, to get this type of cosmic balance. And for that purpose, we're going to have half white and half red. This is about half and half. So first we'll eat some of this fruit to bring the shefa to Olam HaYetzira. First eat, and then we'll finalize it with thinking the divine name when we drink the wine. Now, the divine name is part of Olam HaYetzira is Shem Ma, which is also Gematria Adam, 45, Adam, 45th president. Right? Shem Ma, because that's our main work is in Ma, fixing the world beneath, which is Ban, which is like Ish and Isha, as we're going to explain, or like Av and Ben. Right? So no, that's why this world is Gematria Adam, the divine name for this world. All right, this is where we bring it down. This is where our main work is. Our main work is in Yetzira to fix Asiya. In Yetzira to fix Asiya. Like Abba fixing his son, right? Or fixing your animal side. So for this world of Yetzira, which is the Ikr Madrega of the Adam, mitzad how he's supposed to be a little bit above this world in order to fix it. That's this world. That's why the divine name is Gematria Adam. It's Yud Vav Dalet, Hey Aleph, Vav Aleph Vav, Hey Aleph. That permutation of Yud Kei Vav Kei adds up to 45, Gematria Adam. And that's what we have in mind when we drink this wine, which is 50-50. Right, 50-50 din and 50-50 chesed, which is the Adam. The Adam is, 50-50. We have free will to choose the right thing, choose the wrong thing, God forbid, So that's exactly 50-50. We're exactly on the half line to either tilt everything towards good, or God forbid, when we screw up, tilt everything the other way. We're exactly on the half line between chesed and din. Between chayev and potter, zakai, chayev, tamei, tohor. Right? Mutter Aser. We're exactly on that half line. That's why it's exactly halfway chesed, halfway din. That's why we have exactly a cup full of half white, half red, parallel to that, and we bring the shefa down to this world, which is our dominant world, our ikr power. Because we live in Asiya, but we reach Yitzira, and because we reach Yitzira, we could import energy and change the world that we're in. But right now we're in Olam HaYitzir, which is the higher world that we tap into, and that's where our free will comes from, that we could bend things. Either we're exactly on the half, I could bend here, there, and there. So now we have in mind when we drink this combination to draw the shefa down to Olam HaYitzira, Yud, Vav, Dalet, Hey, Aleph, Vav, Aleph, Vav, Hey, Aleph. Chaim. Okay. And another bite of my nectarine, so Olam HaYitzira. All right. And now we finally come to Olam HaAsiya. This is a perfect Olam HaAsiya fruit. The world that, the physical realm that we're in, that we have to fix. We tap into the realm above, the Yitzir, which is Adam, and we could come and we could fix the lower realm. How are you? We're doing a Tu bshvat Seder.
Okay.
Thank you,
Hi,
George.
Mr. for being so late.
I'm online. You can sit down. Okay. Let's sit down. So this fruit is parallel to Olam HaAsiya, the world that we're in. It's sadly mostly bad, but we fix it. We come from the world of 50-50. The Yitzira, that's where we're mainly rooted, right? And where we have free will to bend things one or the other, but we have to use that power to fix this world, which sadly is mostly bad. But with our power, we fix it. Our power of free will. Right? So we import from Yitzira to Asiya, the world of activity. So the fruits that are parallel to this world, like this fruit, very thick peel, inedible peel on the outside. That shows that the evil is dominant because there's a thick, inedible peel. If it's not edible, that's what's wrong. So it's a thick, inedible peel, but it's on the outside. That means it's in control and it has the goodness that is edible concealed within. So it's like the goodness is incarcerated behind the peel, and the peel is like dominant. Right? The opposite of Yitzira, where the inedible pit, was in the middle of the fruit, as if the good is dominant and incarcerates the evil. Over here, it's the opposite. The evil is dominant and incarcerates the good. That's why this is the fruits that's parallel to the lowest world. Right? And this is the world we have to fix. It's interesting. The divine name for this world is Ban. When you spell Yud K Vav K Yud Vav Daled, Hey Vav Vav Hey. When you spell that way, there's a gematria 52. So we called the name Ban, like a son. You have to, like Ben, you have to fix the son. You have to educate him. It also happens to be that Ben is the same gematria as Behema, animal, because kids are animals. We have to tame them, and we have to, because Adam has to train his son. Adam has to train the Behema. So that's our power, our main operating system. Our neshamas reach all the worlds that we described, right? But our main operating system is that we are mainly tapped into Yitzira, which directly has to fix Asiya. The Ma has to fix the Ban. But now on Tu bshvat, we want to draw down the divine sustenance all the way down to Olam HaAsiya. So now we're going to eat this fruit, which has a very thick peel. This fruit is parallel to Olam HaAsiya, the world that we're in, where the evil is so dominant, and the good is like incarcerated by the evil. That is, what is it, pomelo or something like that? Pomelo. Now, in this world, since it's more din than chesed, so the wine the mixture of wine that we drink for this world is going to be mostly red and just a little bit of white, because this world is mostly din, and sadly, until we fix it in the future, so it's going to be mostly din And currently it's mostly din with just a little bit of white. It's not totally bad. And there's also some ches in the world. So we do. So the cup of wine that we drink for this world, we've been drinking all morning.
And red.
It's going to be red with a drop of white.
And red represents din.
Red represents din. White represents chesed. So you go and make a geffen on this. Just joined by y'all. Okay, I'm going to make my own cup. And we have in mind the name Yud K Vav K spelled Yud Vav Daled. Hey, hey, Vav Vav, hey, hey. Very easy to remember. It's like that's why the regular Yud K Vav K is Gematria 26. 26 plus 26 is equal to 52. Because basically all we do is double the letters. Yud, and then Vav Daled is also Gematria Yud 10. Hey, we spell out hey, hey.
Yeah.
And Vav, we spell out Vav Vav.
Mm-hmm.
Vav. Right, and then hey, hey. So that's very easy to remember. And this is the world that we're in, the physical realm that we have to fix. All right, but we want to on Tu bshvat pull down, because we explain the universe itself is called a tree. We want to draw down this as the sap is rising in the tree. The universe and man is an upside down tree. This is our roots, and we're drawing down. Our roots are in heaven, and we want to draw down the sustenance all the way down to the lowest realm.
Yeah.
So let me just pour my cup. So we're mostly red with a little bit of white. And we have in mind this divine name, Yud Vav Daled, hey, hey, Vav Vav, hey, hey. So we have in mind, L'chaim, L'chaim. Okay. So now there's another step. We don't want to just refine the tree. We want to go down to the very source, the earth itself that the tree came out of. Hey, Priya.
I'm putting a good order in my meter.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit. Right.
And Rabbi, is that on Zoom?
What?
Is that Zoom?
It's on Zoom. It's my YouTube channel.
Oh, you.
I'm recording my YouTube channel.
I thought it's live because there's a friend who is a Talmud of your brother, actually.
Yes.
Whom when I told him that we learned together in the morning, he was like, "Do you record it? Is there any way I can join?"
No, this is recorded. This is going to my YouTube channel, and I can send you the link. Anyone who wants to could, right now catch it as it's on, but it's archived, so nothing gets lost, It's a good way to remember, like God, He never forgets what we do. Everything's archived, right? Okay. So I just want to explain that at the time of creation, when Hashem created the trees, so if you read the narrative, right, Hashem said, "Eitz pri osepri," fruit trees that bear fruit. And it says that the positive that "Eitz osepri," the earth brought forth tree that gives fruit. It wasn't fruit trees that give fruit, just so the all right. So Chazal say, Rashi brings it, I believe, right, that the earth sinned because God wanted fruit trees that bear fruit, meaning that if you would bite into the wood, you would taste the fruit also. You would taste the fruit also. But the earth sinned, and it put forth, trees that bear fruit, meaning because you bite into the wood, it tastes like wood, it doesn't taste like the fruit that it bears, right? And that was called the sin of the earth. Now you might ask, hey, how could the earth sin? Ketars. Now you might ask, how could the earth sin? It has no free will. Well, no, it has no free will ever since Adam was created. We have to remember, Adam was created from where? From earth. That means that prior to Yom HaShishi, when Adam was created, because Hashem clumped his body from earth, Adam's soul was in the earth, and the earth had free will. The earth had free will on the third day of creation, because Adam's soul was still there. It had free will because of the neshama of Adam was still there.
What bechira? I mean, what?
It sinned. It sinned. It did
no,
not.
I'm saying what bechira before the chet did the earth potentially make, like let's say were there any other choices that, you know what I'm saying, that the earth made before it was
This is like the big one, the big mistake that the earth made, And that's why when Adam sinned, Hashem waited till Adam would be created. Then he closed accounts with both of them, because after the sin of Adam, he also said, "Arura ha'adama ba'avurecha," the earth is cursed. The earth, and that's right. For many years until Noah invented the plow, it used to grow thorns and thickets. It's very hard to get anything out of the earth.
So the rabbi is saying that before the creation of Adam, the earth
Had free will because Adam's soul was there.
But where does the soul come from? I thought that Adam was created or kind of molded, shaped
From the earth.
and then the soul isn't
Came
the soul
from heaven.
supposed to be our essence?
Yeah.
Because it says that, and Hashem
blew into it. But where was the soul was in safekeeping in the earth? And then it says before Adam was created, when Hashem was creating the animals, Totzeh Aretz Nefesh Chaya, let the earth produce living souls. Says the Medrash, Zu Nafsho Shel Adam Rishon. That was Hashem. That was the Nefesh of Adam Rishon.
Yeah.
It was meaning God first kept it in the earth for safekeeping, and on the sixth day, when He was creating the animals, He took the soul out of the earth, and then when He formed Adam's body, He blew that soul in. But that means that soul for safekeeping was in the earth until that point.
Mm-hmm.
And which gave the earth like free will, because it had the power of Adam's soul.
I've heard another, I think this may be coming from, and I'm not an expert in it, so may the Rav not quote me
Yes.
on it. Maybe coming from Chassidut, where I've heard a thing according to which when someone is breathing, I think Chassidut, I've read it somewhere, when someone, like, when it says that Hashem blew of his soul or essence, so to speak, into Adam, and Adam became a living being.
Right.
That soul, that essence, that life that Hashem blew into him came from deep within Hashem,
right,
into Adam.
Like the breath, yeah. But
how do I interpret that in light of the fact that Hashem had this soul?
Yeah, He had his soul. He created the soul. He put it in the earth. Then He took it out of the earth when He created the animals. He took out that soul from the earth.
Yeah.
And then He injected into them by blowing.
Yeah.
By blowing. Because the soul is a creation. Like also the air that you breathe out of your lungs, it's not your lungs. And you blow up a balloon, and the balloon flies away. Did you lose a piece of your lungs?
No.
Because even what it says in Chassidut, in the Tanya, that man de nafach mitoche nafach, someone who blows from the inside.
From the inside.
I think
that's
yeah, just from the Tanya. It's from Tanya, which from the name of a Zohar that we don't really have, that we don't have, we lost, but he says he saw it in Zohar, we trust him. Right? The Baal Tanya saw a Zohar that we don't have. Man de nafach mitoche nafach. But as my Rosh Yeshiva explained, man de nafach mitoche nafach doesn't mean that that there's a piece of lung in there. It just comes from an inner place. It's it comes from a deep place. It comes from a deep place, but it's still air that's not part of the lungs, right? But this air, first God put it in the earth, right? It is let's go step by step. If once we're on the topic, it says by the very first day of creation, before God created light. Ruach Elokim merachefet al pnei hamayim. The Spirit of God was hovering over the water. It's before God created dry land, even. So the Medrash says, Zu rucho shel Adam Rishon. That was the spirit of Adam Rishon. So God created the soul on day one already, and it was hovering over the water. But then the water split, and then God pushed the water and exposed the dry land. So there's the Ruach Elokim merachefet al pnei hamayim. Where'd it go? It went into the ground. So that's what the journey of the soul was. It was first hovering over the water, went into the ground. Right? Then on the sixth day of creation, it came out of the ground, went back to God for God to infuse into the body of man that also came from the ground. Right? So the soul had a lot of journeys.
Yeah.
Right? But of course it was ultimately infused into man by God breathing into his nostrils. But it was already created in the first creation, hovering over the water. Then it was put in the earth. Then it came out of the earth. Hashem took it back to him, and Hashem himself infused it into Adam. That is the complicated journey of the soul. That's why life is so complicated, right? So the earth, as it were, sinned because it had the power of Adam in it to have free will before Adam was created, right? So, but Hashem waited. Rashi says all this in Chumash. Hashem waited till Adam would do his sin, and then he would like close accounts with both of them together, right? So that and Arura Adam Bara, and the earth is accursed because of you. Because what did the earth do? Oh, on the third day of creation, the earth did its sin with Adam's soul. So he waited. So really, it's really the same guy doing the same crime twice. I mean, same soul doing the same crime twice, right? And and so Hashem waited till Adam did his sin to also close accounts, with the earth, and that also screwed up, right? So now, the earth screwed up by not producing wood, a tree that tastes like the fruit. Now, what does that represent? That represents that the earth couldn't understand how the means and the ends are all one. In this world that we know, the means and the ends are not the same type, right? You go to work, right? You just gave an estimate, right? Do you like giving estimates? Do you like to have a sense of mission in giving estimates?
I mean, do I enjoy? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, right. Like
Me
if the guy,
personally?
if he would never pay you, you'd still give estimates.
Yeah.
Really?
Personally, yeah.
Oh, okay. You're deviant. Maybe you're like most people. The work that they do, they exchange it for the parnasa. The means is not the ends. The means is not the ends.
So I guess I'm not the tree. I'm not the earth. Then.
Well, you're like you're totally fixed. I'm telling you, Priel. And that's why your name is Priel, right? Fruit of God. You are like on the level of what God always wanted.
Right.
That the means and ends should be in a perfect unity.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's like that is Torah. Oh, yeah, it's Torah and mitzvahs. That's not that people think it's a mistake. We turn in our mitzvahs, we cash them in for Olam Haba. Like the chips at the casino, which I've never been in, of course. But the chips at the casino, you cash them in, right? Right? No, schar mitzvah. The mitzvahs that we do are in itself. The tikkun of the mitzvah in itself becomes our Olam Haba. When we go to Olam Haba, we enjoy the mitzvahs that we did. When we go to Olam Haba, we enjoy the Torah that we learned. The means and the ends are one. It's not that we cash in one for the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. Everything that we work for is not just that we traded in for. That's how we live in this world, right? But in spiritual life, right? In spiritual life, the means and the ends are one. The means is the ends. It's not that we trade in our mitzvahs for Olam Haba. The mitzvahs make our Olam Haba, right? The Torah we learn is the light in Olam Haba that we enjoy. So, and that's what Hashem wanted for this world also, even in the physical realm. The means and the ends should be one smooth continuum. And that's the reason for failure, by the way, right? The whole reason for failure is that, you don't feel the ends in the means. That's how you get, distracted, sidetracked. Because you sometimes lose sight of the goal, right? If you could taste, like, as it were, taste the fruit in the wood, you always feel the goal in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
You never stray. You never get distracted. You never quit because you're getting closer and closer. But it's because in the middle phase we don't feel the goal. That's like what's wrong with this world. That's what allows us to get distracted and deflected, right?
Super. It's funny. Personally, so like I have my my masul, my derech that I use, like I was explaining to you, and let's say, for example, my dad, like, giving me advice, fatherly advice. Even though it comes from a good place, the advice is negative the way that I do it. You know what I'm saying? But so I say yes. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the advice. Thank you so much.
That's why I was with my follow-up show.
And then and I told him, but I tell him also politely, but the funny thing is that he does it too, but he's just, because he loves me, he doesn't want me to get taken advantage of. So that's what it is. It's more he's giving me the advice to go against the way that I do things, so to not get taken advantage of. But I've already counted in my life getting taken advantage of is one of the prices that you have to, or one of the costs of doing chesed. You understand?
I once had to go to Gadol for this specifically because my father is a chief, like the head of community, and I grew up with this thing where my father is like, he's not only my father, but he's also like this someone,
Respected
yeah.
individual.
And one of the things that came with was the fact that, like, when I left, I was growing up, I moved to other lands and did other things and accomplished it. But my father is still my father. And sometimes, and my father tends to be the type that's always trying his best to give you advice, make sure you're taking the right, like making the right decisions and all that. And I found myself in this situation where he's giving me advice. I know that it's not really relevant, like, or something about me tells me that it's not really relevant to me. But I cannot tell him that,
Yeah.
and I have to sit there and soak it in when he's giving it and be polite. And then I went to the rabbi about it and I explained the situation. He said to me, take every single piece of advice he gave you because of the heart with which he's giving it,
Yeah.
because of where he's coming from. He really deeply believed that he's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And he pointed out something. He said some of the things that he may be giving you advice, some of the things that he may be saying may not be relevant to you right now, but as you're navigating through life, you may see that something he said to you, like you face a certain situation, and one of the thoughts that may even pop into be like, okay, this is not the way. And it was not necessarily Torah advice, just practical advice from his own life experience, which sometimes can come in handy. I found myself in a few situations where sometimes I had to recall one thing he said to me to kind of like help me make a decision about something. So I think if I were to remember what the Rav said to me, just take the advice he gives you.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to act on anything right there and there. Just take the advice.
And
I thought it's amazing.
my dad told me the same exact thing too. My dad said when I was giving him not like when I was giving him too much feedback of how I do things and he's just like, Priel. He's like, all you have to say to me, yes, Abba, yes, Abba, yes, Abba, yes, Abba. That's it. I said that, and I said, okay.
It's unbelievable. Yes, it's true. True. We've all been there. We've all been there.
I say Toda Rabba, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, but this is what Yoel said, that in my Rebbe, Moshe Shapira, pointed out that Eitz, tree, and Eitzah, advice, from the same root. Now, why? What does tree have to do with advice? So, because it has to do with what we're talking about, the means and the ends. What do you need advice for? You go to a consultant. Why do you go to a consultant? That's crazy. You know your situation better than the consultant because you're living it, right? He's on the outside. Why do you go to a consultant?
Third-party perspective, or things that you might be blinded to at the moment.
Right. So my Rebbe got it more concretized. Well, you see, all you want from him is an approach because you have all the factors better than him, but your factors, you're mixed up. You don't have them in a sequence that's going to be productive. So you know the factors better than him, but the problem is that you have all your factors and you're mixed up. He gives you perspective
and puts it in line.
That you could go from A to B to C and bear fruit, be productive.
Yeah.
And that's how Eitzah and Etz have something in common. Because the tree takes, the nutrients from the ground and the water and the carbon dioxide and puts it in a sequence that it produces fruit. And that's what good advice does. It's good advice is to align all the factors in a productive process.
Conducive to being productive. That's it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And how to align everything in a manner that's productive.
That makes it more efficient and productive.
Right. But it should be that you should feel every step of the process a little bit closer to the goal.
Yeah.
And the problem is that if the means and the goal are not of the same type, it's like you trade in the means, you can lose sight of what the real goal is.
And also, often people get distracted with emotion too in life decisions that are let's say in terms of tikkun and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? They are in everyday decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Emotion becomes too heavily factored into the equation. You know what I'm saying? And that distracts us as well, right, to some extent.
But it would never happen if you could always taste the goal, even in the means. you would always, be anchored.
So
You'd be goal focused.
it's a tough, difficult practice to do, or to build, to be like that by default. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I believe everybody can get there. Personally.
Well, in Ruchnius, that's about Ruchnius over Gashmius. In Gashmius, you're always what you do and the goal that you want are never of the same type, because you're trading one for the other. You're trading the mean. Ruchnius is the one thing, spirituality, where the means and the goal are all one.
So
because schar mitzvah, the reward of the mitzvah is the mitzvah itself. You don't trade in your mitzvah, but the mitzvah itself built the olam haba that you enjoy.
So that's what. So the ambiguation from Ruchnius to Gashmius would be anything that has to do with Torah whatsoever, any mitzvah.
The means and the goal are all one.
No, that's it. That's all. Yeah.
That's it. And Hashem wanted this world to be that way, and the earth sinned, and the earth couldn't conceive that that the means and the goal should be one. The means is what you trade in for the goals, right? But there's one tree that's the most close to what Hashem wanted.
Etrog.
The etrog.
So that, you know what's funny? So my etrog, right? So
right.
my we have an etrog tree in my house in 5 towns right here, in my dad's house. It took 7 years for it to bear fruit, firstly, but
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Took 7 years for it to bear fruit. And the interesting thing about the etrog is you put it in the cold, right? And the leaves will fall off, but you take it into the house, in 3 days it has new leaves already.
Wow.
It's very super hard.
Do you know the yichus? The lineage of the etrog.
The etrog is one of the four It's one of the four.
But a lot of different etrogim. Is it a chazon? Is it a Markan etrog? What
I'm not sure 100% which type of etrog it is.
Because I would love to take a free etrog from you. They're very expensive.
So they're small. They're small etrogim. They were small.
As big of a nut.
Yeah, that's how big they are.
No.
They're like this big.
They were kosher. As big as a nut is good enough. But I have to know its lineage. But that's the point. That's why
I got it from Shmuel Grossman. So
it's like from a good lineage.
Oh no, yeah, for sure. He wouldn't grow bad ones. Yeah.
No, you have to know you have to know the lineage. It's a real etrog.
No, 100%.
Not a lemon and not.
No, it's 100% real etrog.
Okay, that's important to know. All right, but here's the point that's the secret. That on Tu bshvat you should daven for a good etrog.
And the tree has,
because as this is the renewal of trees, we have to daven for so the etrog is the closest thing to the type of tree God wanted. Because Chazal say if you would bite into an etrog branch, you would taste etrog in the wood. It's the closest thing to the perfect tree. So on this day of trees renew, it's time to daven for the etrog, which is like the closest thing to the tree that God wanted.
What are the four? There's the etrog, the persimmon. I think etrog, persimmon, and 2 other citrus fruits are the grandfathers, or like the ancestor, avos and imos of all the what do you call it? Of all the citrus fruits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Genetically speaking,
genetic. Okay, fine. Right,
the citron is the ancestor of all of them.
Okay, so because we also want to bring the Shefo down, we want to fix the earth, especially as we're Adam, and because we were created from Adama. So we're also going to make a Borei Pri Adama. Can you pass the peanuts, please? And we choose to make it says in the Sefer Achem Nesiyam, I do believe, we choose to make our Pri Adama on the peanuts, egos, because egos is both Gematria Chet and both Gematria Tov, right? That on the one hand, the earth sinned; it missed the point. But we want to make Chet into Tov. We want to convert it. It's the same Gematria, Chet and Tov. We want to convert it. That's why some people don't eat nuts on Rosh Hashanah, because Gematria Chet is also Gematria Tov, right? We want to fix and make whatever was Chet turn into Tov. We want to fix the earth. That's why we're going to make a Borei Pri Adama also.
Go ahead.
So let's everyone take some peanuts.
Here you go.
Good. Okay, and
honey roasted, nice.
That's honey. Honey make sweet, make the bitter into sweet. We turn the chet into tov. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri adama.
Amen. Go ahead. I'm trying
Now, this
to.
you have in mind, if it's the earth, that on Tu b'shvat we just want to go for the goal. We just want to make things the way they are. More than
Mhm.
but once we're at this juncture, make the final tikkun and bring everything back. That's why it's the time to daven for a good esrog. This upcoming Sukkot Bezrat Hashem.
Amen.
Because esrog is all about the real tree, the perfect tree.
Here we go.
Reminiscent of the perfect world that we're hoping for.
This is the etrog.
Uh-huh.
That's the etrog tree.
And you say it's
See
7
that?
years old.
No, it's more. Now it's like 10.
Wow.
But you see the thorns?
Yeah, that's
Etrog has the thorns. I'm not sure if lemon tree is.
no, that's why it's always what they call the bletloch, the
I'll
scab.
see if I can find the picture with the fruits.
Yeah, I didn't think that the etrog could grow in this climate.
So you have to take it inside. It doesn't grow. It doesn't grow outside. Outside, it only grows during the summer. I can find I feel like I took a video once of the etrog. Yes, the smell is awesome together. Yeah. Oh, yeah, here I found it. You want to see the etrog at the top over there? You see the etrog?
That's it. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's
So
so that
now
was when
that's
it
a
was still
piton.
green.
As a piton,
Yeah,
it must be wow. There's a piton.
nice, right?
Very nice. Look at it. Can show you.
Oh,
Crazy, right? There was a bunch too. There was like let's see if I found any more. Oh yeah, here's one in the early stages.
yeah.
There's a few. Yeah, look, here's a few in the earlier stage of the etrog growth. You see? See all the piton? All the pitons?
The piton come up. No, I remember reading that.
Yeah, the piton comes first.
Comes first. Yeah,
Crazy, right?
unbelievable.
But if I keep telling my parents I want it to grow, I want it to bear fruit more, but so we have to move it to a bigger pot.
Right.
If you keep it in the small pot, it prevents the tree from growing more. You know what I'm saying? What do what do we say for the
No, if you had grapes, at the
hadama for the
Right,
peanuts?
fashot.
Okay.
I have to put a quarter in the meter.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna have to go to Brooklyn.
Oh wow. Chaim.
Fine.
Listen. I want to see you. This. Are you married, Joe?
Yes.
Good. Well, Priya needs a shidduch. I see you, well, this year, so before Rosh Hashanah, we're going to dance at your wedding.
Amen. Shkoyach. Balat Chesed. That's my only request. Not even a. It's not a demand even if it's a request.
I just want to put a quarter in the meter.
האחיות בהם נפש כל חי ברוך העולמים.
Amen.
Yo, I'll see you later.
Thank you.
Have a good day, okay?
You too. Thank you.
Be well.
Thank you.
Ready? Have a good day, okay? All right. I'll see you soon. Okay.
Okay.
So, you have children?
Yeah, we have two little girls, Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem, that's beautiful. Okay, any more questions about Tu bshvat? Any more questions? Would you like any more wine? Would you like any more fruit? Okay, we'll make
When the rabbi spoke about, we were talking about creation,
yeah.
there's something that I've I don't think it's directly from, like it's written directly in the Torah, but there's a part where it talks about the fact that at some point in the process of creation, I'm just going to tell her that I'll call her. Back. Allô? Alors, oui, mamie, s'il te plaît, reste connecté. Je te rappelle dans d'ici 30 minutes comme ça. Oh, ok, merci. Okay, that's my sister.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys speak French?
Yeah, French is my first language.
Really?
So there's this part that I read, and it's one of those things that I've never been able to make sense of, and I think it actually says not to even try to understand it because one may not. It talks about the fact that when Hashem created, He divided the waters into two: the waters up in heaven and the waters in heaven. I think it's called the sky or something or something beyond.
It's no, the waters above the heaven. There's waters above the heaven, and then there's how the amount of water, a certain amount of water, they combine with fire to make the heavens, but it's the water that's still above the heaven.
And I think, the firmament, something about the firmament.
Yeah, the firmament was what the open space that was created when He split the waters. The firmament is the open space.
Yeah.
After He split the waters.
Uh-huh.
When there's no open space, there's water everywhere throughout the entire cosmos.
Yeah.
Everything is water, water, water.
So He created like a bubble, so to speak.
That's right, a bubble.
Within that bubble, this is where we exist.
That's exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's water above us, water beneath us. And we're told that even the bubble is just an illusion. There's really water everywhere.
Interesting.
And we want that. We want climate change. We want water everywhere. Because when water's everywhere, you know that there's only God.
Yeah.
Because no separate space to deviate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Want some more?
A little bit.
Yes, okay. Enjoy.
Thank
Tu bshvat, today,
Thank you.
Our taking in food and drink is supposed to be a vehicle to bring in energy, divine energy.
Yeah.
Yes. That's right. So the splitting of the waters created open space. That's where we have the challenges, because there's open space to go towards God, away from God. When water was everywhere, it was only God.
Let me just see if I can find what I am referring to mostly. Just to collect I'm not putting my thoughts together, so.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So this was I believe this was on the second day. In English, God said, "Let the firmament between the waters, let there be a firmament between the waters, and let it separate between the waters, the upper waters, so to speak, and the lower waters." God made the firmament. He separated between the waters that were below the firmament and the waters that were above the firmament.
Right.
And it remained that way. God called the firmament sky.
Right.
So God called the firmament sky. So meaning that there's a difference between us being here and like that aspect of the firmament that we call sky. And I think in Art Scroll, it says something about the fact that some people, meaning that it's not something that people should try and understand or something. It brings a certain opinion along those lines. And I believe there's also something, if I may be mistaken, but I believe there's also something about that. The question I'm trying to get to is to do with the fact that there's some things that are very spiritual. There's some things that are beyond what we can, from a spiritual point of view, understand. And sometimes you will hear it said that, we don't have to focus on those things, like whatever Hashem revealed, he revealed to us to study and to understand, to make sense of. And what is not revealed is not our place to, unless, like someone is on a very high level. At the same time, it raises a question that always pops in my mind, because you also find with Ramchal in Derech Hashem, when he talks about witchcraft, and by being in this world also, it would seem that some people from the nations that are not necessarily Yiddish people, it would seem, and are not necessarily the most spiritual people, in the sense that they don't. When I'm saying spiritual, they may have spiritual traditions and all that, but they're not necessarily using it in the way of Kedusha, or so to speak. And these people, the Ramchal describes the fact that they are people that, if they know how to do these things, they can even bind angels spiritually to cause certain things to happen.
It's a divine name that the angel is under.
Yeah, meaning that there would be traditions or things that people in the non-Jewish world have that can actually give them access to very high spiritual things. And this has always raised the question in my mind: how can so much be given to people, knowing that, first of all, they're not using it in the way of Kedusha, they're not learning any Torah, they're not kind of living any life of holiness or have any such intention. And one can easily assume that giving them any superpowers, so to speak, would only be to cause damage, but they still have those access to those powers or those means nonetheless. How can that be the case is a question that I've often had it. Never been able to get an answer to.
Right. Okay. Well, it's no different, conceptually or morally than nuclear energy. Nuclear energy, powerful stuff, falls in the wrong hands all the time. And that's the challenge, that Hashem allowed that things to happen to make the battle between good and evil a fair fight. So evil has to be able to, pose a threat.
Yeah.
But we believe that the Kedusha is bigger, not just than the laws of physics, but also bigger than witchcraft and bigger than the laws of the angels.
Uh-huh.
The Medrash says in Eicha that when Yirmiyahu Navi came to prophesy the Churban of the first temple, they laughed at him. We know how to control the angels. So if God's going to try to destroy the temple with fire, we're going to bring the angel of water, and it'll make it rain, put out the fire. He'll want to swamp the temple, we'll bring the angel of fire to evaporate the water. So what did Hashem?
These were the rabbis.
That's what he told you. No, we're not afraid. We got it all figured out. Okay? So what did Hashem do on the day he destroyed the temple? He switched around all the angels. And when they thought that they were bringing incantation, for the water angel to put
Rain
out the
down
fire.
water.
Yeah, they were actually, bringing down the fire angel to make the fire even worse.
Even worse.
Because even all these laws, physical laws, spiritual laws, they're like silly putty in the hands of Hashem. And we have to believe that. We have to believe that if we're fighting for good. So even all the laws that Hashem put at their disposal and revealed to them, it's nothing. It won't hold up to the truth of Hashem.
Yeah.
And that's it. But he revealed these things to evildoers to make it a fair fight or make it a real test for us.
Yeah.
If they would be powerless, why would we even be scared? Why would we even be confused? So he gave them access to these things. We have to believe that if we're with Hashem, Hashem is above all the rules that he created.
Yeah. In other words, one of the focus or challenges for us should be to keep focusing and to as much as possible doing what we are supposed to be doing, as opposed to even worrying about what they may be up to.
Yes, we focus on Hashem. We focus on Hashem alone, and all is good. All will be good. No matter what we're up against.
Yeah.
Because all the different rules and powers are nothing compared to Hashem Himself.
Yeah.
Even the laws He Himself created. That's the lesson. That's the lesson we have to learn. Right. So we'll end off that we daven on this day that all the shefa should begin to be processed, like the sap goes up in the tree. So also all the shefa Hashem gave Rosh Hashanah that was falling as rainfall on this day gets absorbed and processed within us, within the world. And we should see Shana Tova Metuka as a process. And then also, of course, once the portals open, we should daven for a good estrog on Sukkot, because that is the most perfect tree, where even you feel the goal in the means.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just be the brachot of Tavshin Pei Gimel there on this day are being absorbed and processed to bear fruit in the spring months. Right, it should be absorbed and processed in the best possible way, and we should also not just feel the goal at the time of the goal, but we should always feel a little bit of the Tom Etz and Tom Pre Shavim. Feel a little bit of the goal even in the means. That way we will stay, focused, and not deviate. Amen. Keni Ratzon. I'll make a bracha achrona if you want to.
Okay. Yes.
Bracha Tonai Machlam Amicha V'Kakola V'Eitz V'Preitz V'Gev V'Priya Gefen V'Tzev V'Eretz V'Chov V'Shem V'Chol Piyas V'Tzva Rachim Nan Hiraisa Machshaim Recha V'Atzil Zanka Lecha V'Az B'Chach V'Achalecha V'Nei Shaka Jamenu V'Aleinu Sacha Zamhin V'Chol Piyas V'Tzva V'Chalech Shvav Torah Ki Atanai Tomei Kol V'Charetz V'Amichya V'Pri Gafna V'Alapers V'Atonai Haaretz V'Amicha V'Pri Gafna V'Alperos.
Amen.
The wine was from Israel, so it's a Pri Gafna.
Yeah.
And it makes sense you say Peros before Geffen, Geffen for Peros. All right, thank you very much, everybody else. We're going to end the broadcast now. Here we go.